Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. Welcome back to 7day Bond, who's going to be doing his first money making video of 2026. So in this video, 7day Bond is actually going to go and hunt his inverted cape for fletching. And with this, we're going to cover a money making method which got pretty brutal last year, but seems to be on the way back up. And it's one of those which is a great way to make some GP while fletching, but also to stock up your auto alkers in your invention workshop. Now, the ones we're going to be looking at today are going to be Hydrix and Onyx bolts, and these are things which can go up and down in terms of their profitability. The Onyx bolts went so high a couple of weeks ago, which is why they've not been worth doing now for a couple of months really. And Hydrix, with the price of Ascension bolts, have been so up and down as well. They've not really been stable enough to go and do it. However, in this video, we're going to go and do 20,000 of each to contribute to 7day Bond's fund for 99 prayer, and also for his Slayer gear, which we should be doing an episode quite soon on as well. Now, in terms of doing this, we're going to need level 82 fletching as a max. The Onyx bolts is only going to require level 73, so in terms of how good this can be as a money making method, the kind of like levels you need to get started really aren't that big, but there are quite a few requirements which we need to go into. So what we want to be doing is to do this on World 84, because that's going to give us access to the portable Fletcher. With this as well, if you are level 99, the Fletching cape is actually quite nice because it gives you a chance of making extra ammo, which will contribute to your profit. Not only that as well, if you have access to Brooch of the Gods, this is one of the skills where it is highly influential. This and Herblore are where the Brooch of the Gods really sort of shine. And for me, this is kind of the skill I paid the Brooch off for. So if you are looking at purchasing it, and especially if you're someone who's a little bit lower level in fletching, like you're going to use this to train your fletching method, and you're going to do a considerable amount of bolts, the Bridge of the Gods is a pretty good purchase here. Even though it's going to be quite a big outlay to start with, you will make your cash back with how much it will proc that Fletcher. Now, if you didn't know what a Brooch does, it basically means that the portable Fletcher is going to proc more often, which means you're going to make more bolts extra often. And even though like some of the GP we'll see during this video, you won't make profit just making the bolts. With things like Herblore and Fletching, sometimes it's the extra bolts you make is what's going to give you the profit, which is why having things like the Fletching cape, the Brooch, the portable Fletcher, and also the Ranger's workroom. So if you do the quests on the 4th Frame 3 storyline, if you get the ability to get the Ranger's workroom, that will give you a chance of making extra ammunition, but you need the Ranger's workroom number 2. Now that quest to actually unlock the Ranger's workroom is the Dead and Buried quest. Again, nothing too hard in terms of the 4th Frame 3 quest, but it's going to be highly beneficial to have this because that Ranger's workroom will make you more money. But once again, Ranger's workroom 2 or higher is what you need. So those items all working together, the Fletching cape, Ranger's workroom, Bridge for God, and portable Fletcher, are going to make you a decent portion of extra bolts. And generally with these 2 bolts, that's where your profit is going to be. So if you're going to have less of these items, you will make less profit. But again, before doing anything, check your margins, check your prices as well. Now I've bought these quite slowly overnight because again, they were sort of up and down in terms of their price. So I put an offer in, just waited on them, and then we slowly bought. And because of that, I've saved a little bit of GP here, but we'll talk through all the cash afterwards once we've finished it. So in terms of levels for stuff, the Onyx bolt is going to be level 73, and then the Ascension bolt is going to be level 80. Again, not big in terms of the level requirements, which is why this can be such a good method. This can genuinely be a good method to go and train your fletching up. It's pretty much how 7day Bond did it. But just to make sure as well, with the price of these items, the GP you can save while buying them really can make you more GP in the long run. Slow buy things, and then don't panic if they don't buy. Just adjust the prices. And try and buy it for like a couple of days in advance. Like if you can, have offers in the Grand Exchange for a couple of days. Try and get it as low as possible and do stuff in the meantime as well. And then when these are bought, it just means you can do a larger stint of fletching as well. Now, like I mentioned before, all fletching we want to do is going to be in the 4th Frame 3 Ranger's workroom. So we are going to go over to there now. We're also going to hop over to World 84 because again, World 84, we're going to have access to the portable Fletchers. Not only that as well, World 84 is very, very good for having all the boosts, which will help you in terms of your XP per hour. And be really, really nice to get there as well. Now, I'm going to hop over to World 84 now. Going to get started, and then we'll start talking when the proc starting to come in, just so I can show you guys how it comes here as well. So, back on the fabled World 84. So, simply just go and click on the portable Fletcher. And the nice thing about these is the XP is okay. It's not going to absolutely set the world alight. It's going to be nothing compared to darts. But you can do 60 interactions at a time, so you don't have to be too intensively playing to be able to fletch these bolts. Now, whenever anything sort of procs, you'll see it in your chats. So this time the Brutus causes an extra proc on the Fletcher, and we're starting to rack up these inverted skill cape shards as well. I think this is going to be a very, very quick cape for us to unlock in terms of this as well, just because it's a lot of actions per hour, it's a lot of XP per hour, and hopefully by the end of this video we'll be able to have the Fletching one. We did the Herblore one on the 7-day bond video. I'm not sure if that's going to be before or after this one, but we got the Herblore cape pretty quick, to be fair. And there's some skills which seem to be really slow and some which seem to be really, really quick. However, we're just going to go and sit here now and just rack these up. I'm going to go through both 20,000 of the Incendiary bolts and then 20,000 of the Onyx bolts. And then afterwards, it's a bit I know you guys love. We'll go through all the price and stuff. We'll see how much profit we've made. Me personally, if I could make roughly 30 to 35 mil, that would be great. It just means that I've paid off the 99 prayer. Dragon bones, for whatever reason, are insanely cheap. I've bought 10,000 on 7-day bond already for about 1.1k each, which, again, if you're not 99 prayer now, that is an insane price for bones. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But as you can see here, the Ranger's Workroom has provided the Fletching material, so rather than give us an extra set of bolts, it's going to save us some. And all this sort of really adds on. It's the complete difference between RS3 skilling and 07 skilling. When you skill in 07, you basically do it profit per like your resources to the final product. RS3 is a little bit different because you have all these items which create more resources. Those sometimes can pay even though you lose on how much the raw materials cost to the finished product. So things like bolts, normally if you're just going to compare the bolt tip and the bolt to the final bolt, that's going to lose you money. But the fact you can make sometimes up to 20 to 25% more bolts in terms of like the procs and stuff, that's where your GP is going to be. So we'll see how we get on. We'll see how much extra we've made, and we'll sort of like run through like how much extra we've made in terms of profit as well. But going to wrap it up here. We'll report back when we're done, and we'll go through all the numbers then. Right, so after some time, we have now completed all of the bolts. I'd probably say that took two and a half hours of pretty chill fletching, to be fair. I was doing stuff on the main account, recording some videos. So it's something where I've not paid full attention, but it's not really took too long in terms of fletching these bolts. In terms of like what we've got, I wasn't quite expecting this much in terms of extra made. Like between both sets, you're looking about 6,000 extra bolts made for the 20k bolts. So for every 10k bolts, we're making 3,000 more, which, especially in the case of these bolts, once they're about 7 or 8k each, that's going to rack up a lot of extra cash. Now, in terms of the prices we've paid for all these, I've got them in my sale history on the Grand Exchange, so that's how I'm going to work out what we've paid for both of them. Here, I've actually bought 10,000 of the Hydrix bolts on the main account, so that's what I've got off for that, but I bought them for the same price anyway. So with the Grand Exchange handily working out what it is, 175.1 mil is what we paid for all the Hydrix bolts tip. And then I also spent 37.7 mil on the Essential bolts. So that's roughly going to be 210 mil, which we've spent on these Incendiary bolts, which we can see very quickly if we've made that back, 210 mil. And we're coming in with a price of 230 mil, which 20 mil profit is really, really nice. Again, we'll need to check the price and stuff, like what we can sell for. But again, 30 mil profit, really good there. And in terms of the Onyx bolts, a little bit easy because we've bought them all here. 165.7 mil, and then 2.3. I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and basically say like that's going to be 168 mil for that. And then once we price check all of these Onyx bolts, can we make more than 168 mil? I think it's roughly going to be, yeah, 17 mil-ish. So it's a little bit less than the Incendiary bolts, but the Incendiary bolts are more in terms of the profit as well. Now, just want to make sure that these are going to sort of sell for the price needed. So I'm just going to quickly price check the bolts. And when dealing with something like this as well, you want to make sure that every bolt you are selling for the most possible money. So you want to check the margin. If these are above mid, we just simply make more money. If they are below mid, we make a little bit less. So 7,150 for that. So we are a little bit above mid price. So we'll make sure to put the offer in for that. And then finally, the Incendiary bolts as well. We can see what that's made. But in essence, what we've made sort of combined is roughly about 40 mil, which actually pays off my Dragon Bones. So that was the goal of this sort of episode. Anyway, we'll show you guys that this is a really good way to make money fletching again. It had a little bit of a wobble a little while ago, but it's come back now pretty strong. These Incendiary bolts as well are 500 GP over the mid price as well. So that'll make us another little bit of profit on top of that. That's going to make us another apparently 14 mil, but we'll see if they sell. But that's really nice, and I'm really happy with that as well. But that's paid off for Dragon Bones. You can still make really good money with these two bolts. They're so up and down though. Just make sure you check margins and stuff to make sure they're roughly where they need to be. But I've had a nice decent sort of time fletching. I've got my 990 verted cape shards. I actually got these in just under 20,000 bolts. It was really quick. And also got a nice big chunk of XP as well. Really close to 103 fletching, which is always nice to have as well. However, that is going to wrap up this video. Again, it's more to show that this is such a good moneymaker again. It had the wobble of the price of bolt tips going up. But also, it's a really good way to go and get inverted cape shards if you're looking to do it as well. This will always be a very good way to do it. But that's going to wrap the video up. Really hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.